guys, what is up? Today I come to you with a review of Gintama the manga, and in this chapter, chapter 582, is the conclusion, or if we think it is, the conclusion of the fight between Umibozu and Utsuro. So we beginning of the chapter we have where Kagura and Kamui is having once again one of their fights. So this is like the third fight between them. And I don't know how I feel about this whole with the family because like I said the last chapter is just continuous sadness, and I'm concluding that even though we have heard multiple times from Kagura saying, she has resolve, she's going to fight her brother and she's going to try to bring back this family. I think more it's like she's more physically ready to fight her brother, but at the same time, I don't think her whole being, her whole heart, her whole mind is set into trying to fight her brother because I mean, after what she's heard, the background story of her mother and her father meeting and how this whole situation came to be and their mother dying, and Kagura is at this tender age where she's just a teenager. Okay, her feelings are kind of they're wompy, so they're on and off, and you know how teenagers are, and like she's thinking of so much stuff, and her emotions can get the best of her. And I believe like her hearing this tragic news of her family, I don't think Kagura is fully emotional ready for this type of thing to happen. And especially she's hearing this in the midst of battle. Anybody will be surprised if they was to hear this type of thing happen to them and not know the full story of their family. And now to hear this type of thing, I don't think Kagura is emotionally and mentally prepared. And because she's like I said, she's at this stage where she is still a teenager, so her emotions are not fully stable. Kagura is probably not able to comprehend, and this is like a one-sided battle. Every time Kamui and Kagura face up against each other, it's always been a one-sided battle. Even though we always hear Kagura proclaiming that she will beat her brother, it's always been one-sided. Possibly the next fight that they do have, Kagura will have the upper hand and finally do show her brother how much she wants to bring him back. And I have to say, like, now seeing that it's been shedded light on Kamui's true character, I think it's not the fact that he's, trying to be a villain or anything. It's just that he's deeply hurt by everything that has happened in his life. And this is just his only outlet, okay, of trying to find some source of comfort, is trying to seek for more power because he lost his mother, and then when he sees his sister and he hears her talk, it reminds him of his dead mother. So him not being able to protect his mother is just that Kagura continuously reminds him of the person he loved most, and so he's trying to push aside family and search for something else, something that he can push his outlet of frustration and sadness, and just forget about his past. And it's truly saddening to see that. You can see that Kamui was never a bad guy. I never thought of him since he was introduced into the series as a bad guy, as a villain. I just thought of him as just a guy that's always searching for strength, and what's his real purpose for doing that. And now getting this whole backstory, we can understand why. So Kagura has been defeated. She's underneath, she's crushed underneath a pile of rubble, but we know she's gonna come out of it alive. And we get to the fight with Utsuro and Umibozu, and we have Abuto in his mind. He's explaining like the fight between these two. It's like two dragons trying to eat at each other. It's there's going constantly offense and defense against each other. That there's no time to like calm down for a second and then try to think of a battle strategy and then go back into the fight. It's just constant back and forth with these two, and you have an immortal and the strongest in the universe going at each other, and they're going blow for blow, and it's just a crazy fight. And we get to the part where the one is where Umibozu, he drops his umbrella and he lets Yutaro stab him, and then he sticks his hand into Yutaro's chest and he grabs his heart. And then we see that really what he said, what Umibozu said, was he was trying to find a way in order to keep his wife alive, and he did for a small amount of time. And when he went back onto the dying planet, the dying Yato planet, there were small crystals, Altana crystals, that was keeping her alive while she was still on that planet. and he managed to find some of those crystals. And that same crystal, and it depends on the planet. Like if you live on this certain planet, you can only be used to these type of altana crystals. And what happens if you move from that planet and go to the next one is the possibility of you dying because you don't have that source of power to keep you well and alive. So he took that same crystal and he was going to use that to keep her alive and well, but instead he decided to use that same one to kill Utsuro. So instead, he implanted that crystal into Yusuro's heart and crushed his heart. So that was really crazy because Yusuro is surviving on Altana because it's thriving into his blood, and he's been living for over 500 years. So his source of power is coming from another planet. But what happens if you was to take away that power from him? Will he still survive or will he die? By the end of the chapter, we see that Umibozu completely crushes Yutsuro's heart with that same Altana crystal that he found on the dying Yato planet and used that and crushed his heart. So Utsuro falls, and the one who's left standing is Umibozu. But we wonder, is it a fluke? Is he truly dead, or is he actually surviving, and he will end up killing Umibozu come the next chapter? So it ends off on that, and it was just really crazy. It was a back and forth fight. Kamui defeated Kagura, and it's just like it's one mess after another, and we just I don't know where we're gonna find some peace within this manga after everything that started from the Shogun assassination arc to now. But that's basically it. I don't know how Kagura is going to recover from this practical nightmare that she's living in constantly, and how she's going to really face up to her family. And where are Gintoki and Shinpachi and everyone else? I haven't seen their faces for such a long time. So that was basically it for this chapter. It was a really good chapter from beginning to end, and I can't wait for next week's chapter what's to entail. So if you guys saw this chapter, please do tell me in the comment section below what your thoughts were on it and what your opinions are. How do you feel Kagura is going to react after hearing all this information? Do you guys really think that Yutsuro is actually dead, or is he gonna come back and kill Umibozu? And will Kamui actually have his chance to surpass Umibozu, or will he miss that chance after seeing his father die? So do tell me that in the comment section below. The links are in the description box, so you guys could click on that. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.